WKYT tracking breaking news this morning. Police right now searching for an inmate on the loose in Estill County. They say he stole a truck and is now armed with a machete.
A Scott County man battling some serious injuries after being hit by a car. Police say the driver didn't stop.
The Senate prepares to take a key vote today on restoring some surveillance powers that lapsed over the weekend. I'm Mark Albert in Washington with the latest coming up.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning. Nice to have you with us here on this Tuesday. It's June 2nd on WKYT, and we're going to check in on weather first up this morning.
Yeah, it looks pretty good outside. We're holding on to no rain out and about. However, we're still looking at some mist, so watch out for that as you're stepping out the door. It's just not a really good looking start to the day. There's the clean sweep there on radar. Remember, mist is not picked up by these radar beams, any radar beams across the country. So you're just going to run into that. It's 55 degrees. It is on the cool side. I mean, once you step out the door, you'll kind of feel that outside. So just watch out for that as you're heading off to work. 71 degrees by the afternoon. Today is a nice feeling day. It won't be a great looking day. You have the clouds laying around, and also that southeast chance of rain. Now, I'll show you off into the next few days. We get warmer and warmer, and usually that means thunderstorms. That comes up in a few minutes.
Okay, we'll see you in a bit. And we're tracking a breaking news alert out of Estill County this morning. Irvin police telling us that they are searching for an escaped inmate who is armed with a machete.
They tell us the inmate was being transferred from London to Irvin when he slipped out of his handcuffs and took off. The man then stole a pickup truck at a nearby water treatment plant that belonged to a security guard. The security guard fired shots toward the vehicle and blew out 3 tires. The inmate is still at large. State police will start searching again when day breaks. We've made several calls. Officers have told us have not told us at this point who the inmate is. We are tracking this escape and bringing you the latest on WKYT this morning as soon as we get those details. Well, this morning, a Scott County man suffering from serious injuries after police say he was hit by a car. The driver who hit him is on the loose. This happened yesterday morning along US 25, just north of Georgetown. Police later found the car, but no sign of the driver. Investigators say 20-year-old David Andrew Bell of Georgetown was injured in the hit and run.
This person was walking along the roadway or the side of the roadway, and a vehicle came and struck them, throwing them into the ditch.
Well, Bell is still in critical condition at UK Hospital. Deputies say he may have been walking to his job nearby. The car that crashed into him is in possession of the sheriff's office.
This morning, a Knox County magistrate is facing assault and terroristic threatening charges. State police say they arrested Jerry Cox over the weekend. In January, investigators say Cox hit 2 men with his car, injuring them. And in April, they say he pointed a gun at some family members of those people. Cox denies the charges. He'll be arraigned later this month. He has bonded out of jail.
Well, this morning, a Scott County murder suspect is due back in court. Georgetown police say Odalyn Paz Salvador was driving drunk when he hit 57-year-old Mark Hinkle on a bicycle last weekend. Hinkle was a cyclist in the Horsey 100 event. Paz Salvador will have his preliminary hearing this afternoon at 1:30. He pleaded not guilty last week to murder and wanton endangerment, among other charges. Well, there's growing pressure this morning to restore recently expired parts of the Patriot Act. The Senate will hold a key vote today to see if they can reinstate the surveillance powers that lapsed over the weekend.
But any deal in the Senate threatens to undermine a compromise over in the House. CBS's Mark Albert reports from Washington.
Now's the time for action.
Senate lawmakers will again try to move forward on the House-approved USA Freedom Act while considering changes. One amendment would extend the amount of time the National Security Agency has to end bulk collection of phone records from 6 months to a year. But the NSA would still be able to search the records held by phone companies with a court order.
These fixes are common sense. There needs to be basic assurance that it will function as its proponents say that it will.
Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has been at odds with fellow Kentucky Senator Rand Paul, who blocked an extension of the Patriot Act on Sunday. On Monday, Paul said he would support changes to the House bill.
I think the bill could be made much better with amendments, and if we can come to an arrangement to allow amendments to be voted on, I'd be happy to allow my consent.
The White House supports the USA Freedom Act as is and is warning the Senate not to make major changes.
There's a lot of politics being played on this, and unfortunately it's coming at the expense of the national security and civil liberties of the American people.
Any changes in the Senate, however, mean the House would have to vote again, And Republican leaders there have already signaled they likely won't accept an amended bill. Mark Albert for CBS News, Washington.
The House bill would reauthorize less controversial counterterrorism tools, including roving wiretaps to track suspected terrorists who switch cell phones. It would also allow the FBI to once again gather business records in terror and espionage investigations. A new Inspector General report on airport security has some alarming findings, claiming that Homeland Security agents posing as passengers were able to sneak fake bombs and weapons past TSA checkpoints. The report says agents did that 67 times out of 70 attempts. The Department of Homeland Security Secretary has ordered immediate changes to help catch possible terrorists. Experts say the report shows a need for better technology at checkpoints and increased training for TSA agents.
Well, a man wanted for a string of crimes in central Kentucky is now in critical condition at UK Hospital after police say they shot him. The Scott County Sheriff's Office says deputies got a tip that William McKee was camping in some woods near North Elkhorn Creek Sunday night. The Sheriff's Office, Georgetown Police, and Kentucky State Police worked together and found him. Police say McKee had a gun with him. Investigators say officers from all three agencies fired shots. It's still not clear how many times he was hit. Well, state police say a Lawrence County man died after being arrested. Billy Collins was arrested on Friday after police say he crashed his car while driving on a suspended license. While at the Louisa Police Department, police say Collins would not cooperate, hit an officer, and tried to barricade himself. Police say they used a taser on Collins and struck him with closed, empty hands. They say Collins then showed signs of a medical emergency and later died at the hospital. Police are investigating, but say it appears that none of the officers involved did anything criminal.
Well, it certainly caught a man's attention. Dozens of boxes have been left in a Richmond dumpster.
Inside, a man says he found many medical records with names, phone numbers, even social security numbers on them. Still a mystery how this important information ended up in the trash. As Monique Blair tells us, the documents come from a business that closed years ago.
It was kind of like a gold mine for an identity thief.
While at his storage unit in Richmond on Saturday, Carl Swanger noticed the dumpster was overflowing with boxes. So he picked up a lid to one and says he couldn't believe what was inside.
There was probably a couple hundred people's different names and social security numbers, birthdays in each box.
A total of 65 boxes overflowed the dumpster, each one filled with patients' old medical records.
After Swanger found the documents here, he brought them to Baptist Health, but the documents did not come from Baptist Health. They actually came from a company called Richmond Radiology.
We're committed to making sure that they got to the right people and didn't get in the wrong hands any further.
Jill Williams says the security team from Baptist Health Richmond picked up the total of 65 boxes from the dumpster after Swanger alerted them to what he found.
We understand the importance of maintaining privacy of patients, no matter whether they're our patients or not.
Williams says Richmond Radiology hasn't been in business in this area for several years, but her team is working to get them in touch with the documents. As for Baptist Health, Williams says the hospital follows a strict protocol when dealing with patients' personal records.
There are some documents that may be kept for 7 years and then destroyed, which is typically shredded. There are some documents that you keep indefinitely. We take that very seriously.
In Richmond, Monique Blair, WKYT.
Well, no one knows if the documents were originally being held in a storage unit or if someone brought them from elsewhere.
Leah still couldn't talk or smile last night, but she gave a thumbs up to her supporters. She is the daughter of Cincinnati Bengals player Devin Still and is battling VOD, or veno-occlusive disease. Still posted this photo to his Instagram overnight. He asked fans for prayers over the weekend after a pretty serious complication with her treatment. Now he says his daughter Leah is doing better. Glad to report that. WKYT This Morning is just getting started. Our time is 4:39.
Well, laughter is the greatest cure, especially when you're ailing from crazy kids. Moms Every Day introduces us to the Pump and Dump comedy show coming up.
And we're looking outside, seeing those 50s. It is one of those days that it's just not a good-looking day, and only isolated chances of some rain. It's about the temperatures today, and I'll show you all that coming up next.